Hi. Today I'm going to tackle some questions posed by the leadership assessment. The first of these questions is, what types of power do I have as a student? And how does that source of power influence communication with other students, professors, and administrators? As a student, I believe the power that I hold varies from person to person. When communicating with other students, I would likely say that the power that I most frequently use is referent power, whereas communicating with professors and administration, I would likely believe that connection power is the most present. I believe that students mostly use referent power between each other, um, to create a uniquely social environment that works towards cultivating a good college experience for each other. So, my example of this is pretty much every single one of my friends that I have made in my time in college, I've made within the first week of my classes starting. I believe that people are actively seeking out having a good college experience and using referent power to do so. Now, in terms of communication with higher ups at college, I believe that connection power is often exercised by more involved students that seek to form a genuine connection with some of the staff on campus in order to get some deeper personal insight into whatever major they may be involved in. For example, when I was still in Tucson at the U of A, I was a physics major, and I would go to every single one of my physics professor's office hours just so I could get their personal deep look into the physics program and everything that I should be doing to have an easy time. The second of the two questions I wanted to answer was, have I ever worked with a difficult person? If so, how did I communicate with this person? Was the communication effective or ineffective? And based on what I've learned, how would I change my communication? Um, in my experience, I've worked several jobs and I've obviously been through several group projects in high school and college. And so I can definitely say that I have been through a situation where I've had to work with a difficult person on something. Specifically, I wanted to talk today about a manager that I had in the past. So this manager was extremely distant, extremely closed off. If they weren't in the back doing their own work, they weren't really ever talking to coworkers. Probably heard 10 sentences total from this manager in my time at this job. So my experience communicating with this manager would usually be extremely brief. It would be a few words here and there. Additionally, any issues that I had at this job with scheduling or other matters wouldn't normally go to the through the manager who was managing the schedules, but rather through an assistant manager, just because it was so hard to contact this manager. Um, Looking back, the my methods of communication with this guy were completely ineffective, and were definitely very unproductive looking back at them. Some of the things that I could have changed was I could have respected his expert power a little bit more. I could have only really saw him as a source of information rather than like as a friend and a coworker, as I did everybody else. This would have possibly allowed my perspective to change on how I approach conversations with him and allowed myself to see him as more of just a pure authority and an expert on everything at this job. All right, thank you.